U.S. Treasury Secretary says that China will not be able to get oil from Iran. Scott Bessent has said that the U.S. will block Chinese tankers carrying Iranian oil in the Strait of Hormuz. They're not going to be able to get their oil. They can get oil, but not Iranian oil. Bessent told reporters in Washington, D.C. He went on to criticize China, which buys most of Iran's oil, saying that it was being an unreliable global partner, including by hoarding oil supplies and limiting exports of some goods. He said that he has spoken with Chinese officials on this issue, but declined to answer a question on whether the dispute could derail Trump's plan to visit Beijing in mid-May. So that is the reaction from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who has said that China is hoarding Iranian oil, and he has said that China can have oil but not Iran's oil. So U.S. Treasury Secretary has said that China will not be able to get oil from Iran, and he has also said that the U.S. will block Chinese tankers carrying Iranian oil in the Strait of Hormuz. They will not be able to get the oil. They can get oil but not Iranian oil. In fact, he also said that he went on to criticize China, which buys most of Iran's oil, saying that it was being an unreliable global partner, including by hoarding oil supplies and limiting exports of some goods. Now, there's another angle that is emerging amid the West Asia tensions, which is that Donald Trump is eyeing the Strait of Malacca. This is, as per reports, now the Strait of Malacca is one of the world's busiest sea lanes, and 40% of global trade flows through this strait. Remember, it is 20% through the Strait of Hormuz, but if we talk about Strait of Malacca, it is 40% of the global trade that flows through this strait. Now, this moves oil, cars, semiconductors, and other goods. So these are the items that pass through the Strait of Malacca, and this accounts for 30% of global oil flow. So 30% of global oil flow is through the Strait of Malacca, and 80% of China's oil imports pass through this particular strait. So China's oil also passes through the Strait of Hormuz. China is also one of the largest exporters of oil from Iran through the Strait of Hormuz, but 80% of China's oil imports pass through the Strait of Malacca, which, as per reports, Donald Trump is eyeing. Now, it is indispensable for made-in-China products. So this particular strait, the Strait of Malacca, is very significant for China, and it is indispensable for the made-in-China products. And China is now monitoring and preparing for any blockade. In case there is any blockade by the United States, China is closely monitoring the situation and is also preparing for any such situation. Now, what is India's leverage? So there is a strategic advantage to India because this strait, the Strait of Malacca, opens to the Nicobar Islands. So that is the advantage for India. But this is the new angle that is emerging. Donald Trump is now eyeing the Strait of Malacca, which is very significant for China. In the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. has already imposed blockade. It is blocking the ships and vessels which are entering and exiting the Iranian ports, and a large number of Chinese vessels and ships enter and exit the Iranian ports, as China is the largest exporter of the Iranian oil. And now, after that move, what we're learning is that Trump is also eyeing the Strait of Malacca, which is one of the world's busiest sea lanes, and it is of great significance and is indispensable for China.